Yes, yes, we are back. Thank y'all for rocking with me. Sasha Rock, aka the Regular Cat. Peace. What up, Moon? Hey, Mom, how are you? Thanks for joining me tonight. I appreciate y'all. It's good to be back. Yes. Let's go. Hellz yeah. Peace, bro. What up, cuz? Thanks for joining us. We're gonna have some fun tonight in our night back. Nice to be back. I hope everybody's doing all right. Hope everybody's safe. Hope everybody's enjoying themselves as much as they can, enjoying life. Yes. We got my man Hellz here. He's gonna be here tonight. He's already in the room, punctual. Kind of like his flow. What up, Lid? Peace, bro. Nice to see y'all tonight. We're gonna give it a few moments. We're gonna be on here soon. Hope everybody's enjoying themselves. Yeah, thanks, cuz. It's good to be back, you know. Everybody got their kids back to school by now? Yes, yes, I know Big Noah's back in there already. You know how it is. So my man, Hellz here, he's already in the building. Alright, so we're gonna let's see what you're doing. Peace, Substance. Good to see you, bro. Appreciate you being here, man. Yes, yes, we got my man in here now. Hellz yeah. Yes, yes. We're gonna mute this here. My man is in the building with us. Let's see. Peace, bro.
Peace. What's going on, bro? You hear me good?
Yeah, I hear you great, bro.
Awesome,
Thanks for joining me tonight, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Listen, I just want to get to this real quick. You and I, we've been rocking for a few years now, just how what hip hop does, you know what I'm saying? And
For sure.
What you are definitely one of the dudes, one of the artists, one of the MCs, one of the producers that when I said I was putting this together, I knew I was going to reach out to, bro.
Appreciate that.
I always loved your music from the moment late, you know what I'm saying? So before you start, I just want to let everybody know who it is. My man Hellz yeah.
What up?
The MC, producer extraordinaire. You need bars, go see him. You need that beat, go see him. You need guidance in your music, go see this dude.
There you have it. There you got it.
You know, so thank you for joining me, bro. How you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling good, man. It was a little long day. Did some walking. So, just recuperating right now.
Oh, bro. Listen, I had a busy day today, too, man. Shout out to my man ASU. You know, real quick shout out to SBG Glass. My windshield was cracked yesterday. Got that joint handed today. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. Okay.
Them. But yo, we are here. We wasn't gonna let nothing stop this shine, stop this night.
Not at all. You see, I reached out to you like, yo, what time we doing it, bro?
Yeah, man. I'm glad you did. Thank you, bro, because I needed this show. I needed to be back. I needed to be back with somebody like you who I'm straight up been rocking with for a while. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Appreciate it.
You know. So tell us about yourself, man. Tell us how you got your start, man. Where you from and all that.
Originally from Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
BJ. You know, I was actually a basketball player. All through high school until I hurt my knee. I mean, I always wrote. I've been writing since I was 9. So
okay.
Me hurting my knee was kind of a segue, I guess, back into the music. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I actually started out with DR Period. That was like my first professional experience of recording. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
And it was rough. It was rough. You know what I mean? But he taught me, you know, DR Period was the one who taught me how to be an artist. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like how to be a recording artist, I should say.
Okay.
You know, how to project, how to bring character, all that stuff. And then I was rolling with a crew. Like I was with Smoother Hustler, Trigger the Gambler, DB Elias Christ. You know, I was rolling with another crew named well, they was part of the same crew called the Headless Horsemen. You know, so I was a part of that whole camp, you know what I mean? So, you know, heavy talent going on in there. So I had no choice but to grow out of that. You know what I mean? So, you know, right now, you know, living in Atlanta, The Last God, which is the, you know, which you was playing just now a little bit of, you know what I mean? That's actually like my fourth studio album.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, you know, alongside the bunch of mixtapes that I did, but that's like my fourth studio album.
Okay. Now, the dudes that you was mentioning, trust me, that era, when you talk about Smooth, Christ, Trigger and all of that was my era, man. That's when I was still in New York. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You name the dudes that I chose Smooth the Hustler album over Don't Kill Me, over the G-Rap 456. I could only get one album that day.
Hey, man. That album was a sleeper classic right there.
Listen, I wasn't mad at it. I think I still got the CD. You know what I'm saying?
It was crazy. I was there for most of the recording. Like,
yeah?
I was there when when they originally created the broken language style, but like when they presented it to all of us, because you know Trigger and Smooth are actually blood brothers.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they developed that whole broken language style, you know what I mean, on their own. And when we heard it, it was just like crazy. I was there when DR made the beat, all that stuff. Like
you was there for history. I remember my brother Solomon, before we was in Mount Vernon, we used to go back and forth doing that joint like it was ours, yo. You know what I'm saying? My brother, right? No doubt. You know what I'm saying? That was our joint. So yeah, so from there, did you pick up like the production from them in that same time as well?
Oh, absolutely. Like I damn near slept in that studio. You know what I mean? So like DR would step out, he go upstairs because the studio was in his crib. And his house was like 5 blocks from my house. So I would just walk over there, or I would get off at the train station to stop before my stop just so I could go to his crib at the studio. You know what I mean? So he would go upstairs, get him a sandwich or something like that. And I'd be tapping on an MP. You know what I mean? Like,
just getting it in. Look, listen, get it in when you can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Just to see what was happening. You know what I mean?
Like I made that sound. You know
I think he had an MPC 3000 if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, man, that's when I got the production bug. I didn't go full into production, but that's when my interest started. You know, from seeing him create actually, because that was like kind of the first time I seen anybody create on the spot like that. The way he did, you know what I mean? So he would beatbox, and then the beat would come out just the way he beatbox. You know what I mean? It was nuts. So yeah, definitely the production bug was sparked there.
That's dope, man. Yo, shout out to 18 Baby Blue, Hiroshima, Fresh Join, Leader.
What up?
DJ Tone Fresh. I appreciate everybody. We talking with my man Hellz, you know what I'm saying? Now, from there though, like with that production bug hit, when was it that you decided that you were ready to like let other people hear what you were doing? Because I know for me, if it was like when you first started, you probably wanted to keep it in house before you were comfortable with it.
Yeah. I mean, it took me like a couple of beats. Like me and another guy had took over a studio over there in Bed-Stuy, and we started working with kind of their camp, the studio that we took over, and their camp was called MTO. Yeah, MTO. They was like, you know, they was like pretty heavy in Bed-Stuy. One of their artists was a dude named Animal, who rolled with AZ. It was AZ's kind of right hand. Yeah. So we did some work with him, but there was another 2 dudes who I took a liking to. It was this dude named Dice and Miz. So they actually got my first 2 beats that I played for anybody. You know what I mean? Like they just jumped on them. You know what I mean? So from there, I was like, oh, okay, I could do this.
Word.
You know what I mean? So.
And then from there, just the catalog has grown, man.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy right now. So
yeah, like I mean, you named a lot of the dudes that you work with, some of the dope artists you already work with, you know what I mean, on a production tip. But, name a couple more if you don't mind. If you got if you got someone off the top.
Man, I worked with I did a joint for Royal Flush that never dropped. Sauce Money I was working with for a little bit. I did a remix for Akon and Lil Wayne called I'm So Paid. But like my prize is the tribute to Sean Price, The Streets Want Blood by Rock. You know what I mean? That's like an important part of my catalog. That's probably the most important record in my catalog.
Listen, let me just never to interject or interrupt you, but
nah, you good.
Gotta let you know that song, man, because I remember when the song dropped, and I don't know if I really knew it was you at the time or how we rocked at that time, but I knew.
Nah, I don't think so. Yeah.
How that song made me feel, because I knew when he went in there, he was just, that was just passion, that was pain, that was everything, and the beat just gave him everything to spill on, bro.
It was crazy, man. Like the whole session was just like,
Brooklyn
because literally I was up 3 days working on that record. You know what I mean? From like conception to recording to mixing and mastering, because we were shooting the video.
Right.
And they were shooting the video who was shot by my girlfriend that I was with at the time. She did the video or whatever. So it was kind of like a lot of crunch time. And like his energy in the studio was just like was crazy, because in between takes and stuff like that, you can hear him crying.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's his brother. Like they grew up together. You know what I mean? Like shit, that's about as close to a brother as you're gonna get.
Like,
you know what I mean? So it's like that record for me, especially Sean Price being such a icon for Brooklyn hip hop. You know what I mean? Like to be able to do that record in his name is just like, I don't know if anything is gonna peak that.
you know what I mean? Like for that joint there, like you said, that's timeless because of what it. You know what I mean? You can always make dope music and it be timeless, but you know what that one felt and what it meant to not just rock but hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That meant something for everyone, because anytime Rock do that joint, everybody black out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
When you're a part of that, is a wonderful, beautiful thing for you.
It's like you can't get away from. You can't really outdo a record that was so meaningful. You know what I mean? Like so. And it was crazy because it was like how he concept the record. Like people was like thinking that he wanted to hurt somebody, which in a sense, but there was nobody to hurt. You know what I mean? Like
saying it's like don't ask somebody, because it's like, like the streets want, just like I relate a lot to The Wire. You know what I mean? Like streets wanted blood for Stringer, but you know what I mean? It wasn't nothing to give, because they knew this is real freaking life. You know what I mean?
Right. Like he died in his sleep. Like there's no retaliation for that. There's nothing. You know what I mean? So that's what made the record even more crazy. And it was just like when he came to the studio, it was like, I don't want no soft, sappy shit. You know what I mean? So I think I played him like 4 beats, and I was like the 4th beat, because I knew he was coming. I just didn't know how he was coming.
And the thing is, you didn't know,
so I was prepared.
You didn't know he wanted to go that hard for that type of song.
Right.
You know. And so, now also you did the joint for Billy Dance too. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't do nothing with Billy Dance.
I could have sworn there was some joints that you was gonna be working on with him if I was, you know what I mean? But
I reached out to Dan's. He came back with his manager came back with a crazy number.
Okay.
And it was just like, not gonna do that. You know what I mean?
That was one of the things I was just kind of hoping for. All right, no doubt.
Yeah. I mean, it may happen. It may happen. You know what I mean? Like if I could, because whenever you're doing a record with somebody, a feature, a collab, and you're paying for that, you want to make sure that you can get your return on that. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not one to tell anybody they're not worth their price, because I don't want nobody telling me I'm not worth my price, but are you worth that price to me? That's the person, that's the customer paying. You know what I mean? So, if I see value in it at some point, then but at that time, I didn't see the value in the price that he was asking, and for me to get the return on it.
Understandable. Because right now, like the people you worked with. And shout out to Frank White that joined the room, Hugh Cannon, Erica Kane, Mommy, and
See nobody coming in here. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. So, because like the people that you work with is like it doesn't lose any. It's like your music doesn't suffer because it's not people that may be like regularly their names regularly spoken of because
right
rotation and everybody gets busy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, like honestly, Key Turner, like I became a fan of hers through Jamil Honesty. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know, and then I reached out to her. She's showing love. You know what I'm saying? So.
Key, what up? That's my Encore buddy right there. You know,
Yeah.
she's on the record Encore. You know what I mean?
Oh, I was banging the joint, man.
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk about the album too, man, because we might as well just get into it. You know what I'm saying?
Let's do it. I got time today.
Trust me, The Last God, man. Listen, this album. I'm looking at the album cover now on the computer too. Like, I love everything about this. I love the visuals. I love what you were saying. Like, is well put together, bro. How long did it take you to put this out, man, to get this together?
Honestly, it was a little over a year.
Okay.
You know, I actually recorded 41 or 42 songs for it, just to have enough to choose from. And honestly, it was hard. It was hard. Like the 12 or 13 joints that didn't make the album, like, are still crazy.
But that's a beautiful thing because it can always be released.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, I'm saying that because I need the music. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan, brother. Like, don't sit on that music, man. Because what I love about your music, the quality. Like, I listen to the sound of it, and I'm listening to the mix. Like, it brings me back to when I used to record, and I could just tell how much you care about the mix as well.
Yeah, like I mixed and mastered and recorded the whole album myself.
Yeah.
With the exception of a couple of songs where I ended up going out to Cali, because I was gonna try to do a joint with Crooked Eye. You know what I mean? So I ended up going to the studio working out of the studio that he worked out of. You know what I mean? Things didn't line up properly, but we connected. You know what I mean? Like, I gave him a cigar and all that, you know, because he's a cigar smoker like myself. Yeah, you know what I mean? So gave him a cigar, something to remember, you know what I mean? Remember the kid by, you know, so we ever cross paths again, you know what I mean? Like, he'll know what it is. But yeah, I did some recording out there and picked up a few, you know, mixing tips from the engineer out there. You know, you got to travel sometimes to get information.
Absolutely.
You know, and when I came back, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of reworked the whole album, you know, as far as the mixing was concerned, and then, you know, mastered it and everything.
Word. And let me tell you, this dope. Like, for me, when I listen to the album, you know, every album has joints that stand out, but for me, everything stands out because each song has a purpose to it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you said that. That's like I formatted the album in a way where you could put it on shuffle and it still makes sense without taking you outside of the world of the album.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because of how we came up, it's like when we listen, it's just like we just talked about the Smoother Hustler album. Word. When you listen to that album, you was engulfed in his world. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what albums are supposed to be. They're not supposed to be playlists, like no disrespect, but a DJ Khaled album. It's a playlist. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that you're saying, okay, I'm in DJ Khaled's world. I'm not in that world.
Word.
You know what I mean? Like, when I listen to an album, I want to be in the artist world. So that's what I wanted to create for myself, was a world for myself that when people hear, they're like, yo, I'm inside of Hell's mind right now.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Like, and I agree with you as far as you can put it on shuffle. The only thing I will not shuffle is the first song. Because
yeah.
That is how you bring in an album. You know what I mean? Shout out to the artist with the spoken word on it. And
yeah, that's Miss Dia.
Yo, the way the beat comes in is like, yo, and you just get immediately into talking your shit. You know? So it's dope, man. You know, so
appreciate it.
Like the album, because like you said, you can put it on shuffle. Is there any type of order that you recorded these 41 songs in, or you know what I mean? Was it just you picked the best ones?
Nah. Yeah, I ordered the album after I didn't want to do nothing technical until after I recorded my goal. My goal was 40 songs. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to do anything technical before then. Like, my goal was straight. Let me get to the 40 songs and then worry about if I needed to add verses or, do different things, whatever, you know what I mean? Like I just wanted to get to the 40 songs without rushing it, of course.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Yeah. So like I said, it took a little over a year, and then there was no particular order. Like really shit was all over the place. Because the producers I work with is a production team that we started called the Drum Slingers.
Okay.
And
So,
they were birthed out of the crew that's back there, Hip Hop Prodigies.
okay.
So all the producers except for one of them was part of the Drum Slingers. You know what I mean? So I created a chat for all of us so everybody can hear what everybody else was doing.
Word.
You know what I mean? So everybody was submitting tracks through the chat. It was my old school way of putting the hitmen in one room, in one studio.
I feel you.
You know what I mean?
And that's the way of this era to do that.
Yeah, you gotta go, go with the times. You know what I mean? Like I can't afford to fly everybody out here and put them up in hotels and put them in the studio. You know what I mean? So my next best option was to say, hey, yo, let's all get in the chat, so I can speak to all of y'all at one time about what I'm looking for. What I don't like about a certain beat, so that the next producer can understand that, okay, Hellz don't like that shit, so let me not do that. You know what I mean? So
exactly, but that's how it is, the network. And shout out to my man King Virtue just came in the room because he included me in a chat like that, and I see how there's a lot of like-minded artists striving to get something going. You know what I mean? They push each other, supporting each other. You need that, especially as an independent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. You need that. You need that support structure. That now. Trust me, it wasn't easy. You know what I mean? Like a few people dropped out because they just couldn't handle. Because I'm particular when it comes to my music. You know what I mean? Like if I don't like the sound of a hi-hat, like you gotta take the hi-hat out. If I don't like the
music, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if I don't like the rhythm of the drums, you gotta change the drums. You know what I mean? Like I had a sonic vision in my head, so I appreciate the people who stuck with it with me. You know what I mean? And they see the fruits of that because the album came out the way I was imagining it.
Yes, and it's dope because like your album is clearly telling us where you're coming from, what you're about. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, just talk about that. Like when you went into like writing, it's like, did you have a chip on your shoulder or was it just?
Oh, I always got a chip on my shoulder when I'm writing.
Sometimes I don't egg nothing on, but certain things like that, I'm looking to hear. You know? What I'm
yeah.
I want to hear that because, like I said, for years I've been rocking with you. Everything I've heard you do sounds like that Brooklyn chip on your shoulder. You know?
Yeah. Like that's like even when like people in the studio with me and I just finished like writing and I record, I'll be like, yo, nobody's talking like this, right? Like
word. Yo, real quick shout out to everybody joining the room. My man Keith Hicks, my man Nico Derms, my man.
Yeah, what's up? What up? He in the building with me, Nico Derms. He in the same studio building with me.
Now, real quick, Hate Graham, like because when I was rapping, that's one of my partners right there. We go back, he's a producer, MC himself, and
okay.
We talk about like that push. We used to do that to each other, and I love it.
Yeah. See, my thing is, I'm being in Atlanta, and no disrespect to Atlanta like that, but there aren't too many artists of this caliber that I'm around. You know what I mean? So I really rely on kind of my own wits and my own mind. You know what I mean? My own motivation, as well as listening to other independent albums. Like I listen to a lot of other stuff too. You know what I mean? I don't just listen to hip hop. You know what I mean? I think that's the mistake a lot of us make. You gotta be, but that also comes from being a producer. Like I gotta kind of listen to other sonics and listen to other mixes and things of that nature. It's hard to listen to music as a fan anymore because you're so involved in it. But I kind of separate it when I want to be in fan mode and just just vibe out. And you need that to expand your mind.
And I agree with you because when I was recording and all, I was so like I had the blinders on where if I didn't, I was still a fan, but if you wasn't kicking the type of stuff I wanted to hear, you was whack. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now that I step back and I'm just a straight up fan of it in every way, I give a lot of things a chance I never would have before. I was so much I've been doing, and it's like it opens you up. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. I tell my peoples all the time. I'm like, yo, you gotta listen to other music. Like it bothers me when I hear artists be like, yo, I don't listen to nobody else's stuff. Like, why wouldn't you? Like
Right.
you're putting you're boxing yourself into your own world. Now it's okay to be, to keep your own style, keep your own everything, but you got to branch out every once in a while and see what else is going on, because
sometimes you grow if you just like in your box either. You know what I mean? You may not
right,
because you put a ceiling on yourself. I feel.
Absolutely.
And now with you, shout out to Loretta's Only, man. He's been in here for us too. Shout out. You know
what up? What up?
Now with this album though, like you said, a lot of producers is in your team. What made you give the rings up to do that? Like instead of
the funny thing is I've always given the rings up.
I know, man.
You know what I mean? Like I've never I have an album. I have one album that I produced myself. And I kind of don't even consider that an album because I didn't really push it or nothing. But it was like kind of my first album that I put out. But every album has had one producer, because that was like how the essence of hip hop for me is like you either had one producer or one production team that you dealt with, and that's where albums were cohesive. You know what I mean? Like because there was one person controlling the sonics.
Right.
That didn't change until Illmatic.
Yeah, when it was Pete Rock.
Right. He had a different producer damn near for every song for 9 songs. You know what I mean? So that kind of changed the game in a sense, whereas like people felt like they needed to go and get a bunch of different producers for their albums. You know what I mean? So albums stopped sounding cohesive, not realizing that the producers that Nas had were all similar. You know what I mean? You had Large Professor, Pete Rock, of course, Q-Tip. You know what I mean? Like they're all kind of the same kind of producers, so the album still had some kind of cohesiveness.
Right.
So I had talked to my team. I was like, "Yo, do y'all think it's time that I need to start? Do I need to do an album that has multiple producers as opposed to just using one?" Because I did the Essence, which I did with DJ Mousetrap. I did Last Night at the Dojo, which was with a dude named Said Wines. And then I did Moonshine, which was with my boy AV Evo. You know what I mean? So this album was like 3 albums straight with one producer. I was like, all right, let's kind of expand the sonics, but still keep it contained.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, like I don't even like producing for myself.
Okay.
I don't even like getting on records that I produce for other people. When people want me to get on those records, I don't even like getting on those.
Why is that? Tell me that, man.
I don't know, man. I'm weird, man. It's one of those idiosyncrasies, I guess. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like them quirks where I'm like, it feels like I'm cheating.
And that's okay because you're the creator. Like when my man used to.
But that's the point. It's like I created the beat. Like, of course I'm gonna sound good on it. You know what I mean?
That's true. It's your personal cheat code, but it's like when you getting like your foot in the game and doing it on the level you're doing it, it's like, why not give yourself that cheat code? You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, it just shows you like your integrity in your music, bro. It's like
that's the one thing for me. Like I care so much about the music. You know what I mean? Like, and I care about other people's music too. You know what I mean? Like, and I know like it's been, bruh, I'm gonna tell you, like it's been times where I featured on songs and dudes took me off because I bodied it so bad. You know what I mean? Like that's happened like on more than one occasion. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, I'd rather just not do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And just let a person shine. You know what I mean? Or make a person feel like they shining. I don't know what. I don't know what it is, because there's no way I'm going to get on a record and not body it. Like,
right. Because I mean, but every artist should have that mentality. Like I'm going in there, like, because I don't know what you coming to do, but I know what I am. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Now with this album here, are there any tracks that you have more fun like creating? You enjoy more?
Nah, not really. Like I just really had fun doing the whole album.
Right.
You know what I mean? And really just like locking into creating this album. That was the fun. Like even though it took over a year, like that was the process.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was kind of like building a house. It's like, do you enjoy building a bathroom more than the bedroom? Like
Right. You gotta enjoy like your home. Absolutely.
Right. You know what I mean? It's like if you take pride in your work, you take pride in your work. So it was the process for me. And then going out to Cali was a big thing for me. You know what I mean? Because I'm used to recording myself.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So to me, for me to have to go into the booth and allow somebody else to control it was a big, like,
giving that part up was
right.
You know, so real quick, like, I see you had like Big Sant on there, you got Rotini, you know, how did the connections, like, with, like I said, she stands out to me, everybody's nice, but Keith Turner, how did that connection come about?
Well, me and Keith Turner met at this event out here called shit, I forgot the name of it. But it's it's like a thing that they do on Mondays. Damn, I forgot the name of it. That's crazy. It'll come to me. But we met there, you know, we had been Facebook friends forever and Instagram friends forever. So it was like kind of meeting each other in person.
Right.
And I had never really heard her music until I met her.
Right.
Which made me go listen to her music. So I was like, oh shoot. So Key was actually on Moonshine album, the album before this album. You know what I mean? Like, she's like, when I heard her voice, her singing voice, I don't know if you ever heard her singing voice, but
listen, her album I have heard it on because
okay, yeah, exactly. So I was just like, yo, can you do this hook for me? She ended up doing the hook, you know what I mean? So when it came time around to do this album, you know, I had the encore record and I was trying to figure out who to put on it. I actually had a known artist who I was asking to do the hook, but she was taking too long, and I'm like, yo, name or no name, I need the record done. Exactly. You know what I mean? You know, so I hit Keith Turner up. You know, actually I hit Coco Jones up first.
Right.
And then Coco was taking too long. So
listen, that time means something.
Yo, I'm being real. Like, I'm just being totally honest, transparent. Mm-hmm. You know, so I hit Keith Turner up and was like, yo, you know, I need this hook done and give me a verse or whatever. You know, she was like, no problem, whatever. So we kind of wrote the hook together. Okay. You know what I mean, on the phone or whatever. She recorded, knocked it out, sent me her version. The next day, Coco sends me her version of the hook. So I'm like, shit.
He was like, how do you do that? How do you do that? What do you do?
So, you know, so if you listen to Encore, it's Keith Turner and Coco.
See, because when I'm listening to it the first time, I was just like, I thought that was Keith Turner singing the hook. And then I heard her spit the verse. And then I saw you had Coco in the credits too. So I was just like, I'm fucking confused. Yo, this shit is rock. I'm going to let it rock.
Yeah, I took, because I'm like, first of all, when somebody does work for me, I never wanted to go in vain. You know what I mean? So they both took time out of their whatever they were doing to do this for me. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right, let me see how if I put these together. So Keith Turner's at the beginning of the hook and Coco's at the second half of the hook.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my girl with Jess, and I was like, when I first heard the first hook, I was like, well, that's Keith Turner there.
Yeah.
But then I heard her spit the verse. So that's like I said,
it threw you off.
I was like, I'll wait till I talk to him, bro. I'm asking, you know what I'm saying? It was one of those things. And that's why I love doing this because, you know, I have people on who I listen to the music when I have questions about things like that, little quirks, you know what I'm saying, things they don't mind giving up.
Right.
I like to know for my information, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's that, and that's the part that I feel like is missing from music. Like, people don't let people into their creative space. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's where the fun is. That's where, you know, like, certain things happen. Like, if you could you could see some of the conversations that I've had with the producers, you know what I mean? Like, they'll be like, oh damn, back to the drawing board. You know what I mean? Like,
but you know, that's what I feel like was missing for a few years when people started sending the verses to tracks. Like, I remember being a fan of hearing the stories of in the studio with the whole Death Squad and things like that. Yeah. And then when tracks started being sent out through email, I'm like, you lose the cohesiveness a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it takes to do it because really, like I said, everything was done through the internet. Right. You know, even Coco sending me her part, Keith sending me her part. I think the communication, you know, if you have actual verbal communication with the people that you're working with, that can help with the synergy and the cohesiveness of what you're going for. You know what I mean? Like, I was in constant communication with the producers. I was in constant communication with everybody who's on the album. Actually, Jaya, who's one of the features on the album, is, you know, my artist now. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's it's you know, like a lot of things in life, communication.
Man, listen, I speak on that all the time because sometimes I think I'm the best at it, and then I just go silent. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I think I had that with you earlier. You know, I don't mean anything by anyone. Shout out to everybody joining. My girl Jess is in here. Jason Jamal Brown, Chino Black.
Jay, what up?
Too, you know? So,
yeah.
You know, with this album here, though, you know what I'm saying? Like, with the way it's set up, and you know, what are you trying to let people know about with this? Are you trying to bring them into your world as far as your thinking, or as a creator, or are you just trying to school them more on it?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things.
Word.
You know, I'm big on being grown, being a man, and being a man's man. You know, being a big homie, being the uncle, being the OG. Absolutely. You know what I mean? So I definitely wanted to speak from that place without bashing the young people. You know what I mean? As well as, you know, my spiritual beliefs and things of that nature, and helping people to realize what's inside of themselves. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to be a mirror for you. I wanted to be a mirror for Honey. I wanted to be a mirror for Key. I wanted to be a mirror for folks so that they could look at me and see themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was a big thing for me. That's why I didn't want to get heavy preachy. You know what I mean? Like if you listen to the album, it kind of goes like this.
Yeah. Like,
you know what I mean?
Give us some joints about, like you said, like your beliefs, but then you still give us that BK joints. Like one of my joints that stand out is that Free White and 21 joint. You know what I'm saying?
One of my partners hated that title. Like
it was, I can see why, but the joint it bangs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So Free White and 21 was actually, I was sitting in here watching Paul Mooney. This was like actually before he passed. Right. And he had said it in an interview, because the interviewer had asked him a question, and he was like, you know, why do you talk the way you talk? And it was something to that effect. And he was like, I'm Free White and 21. Go research it, and then you'll realize what I mean by that. Right. You know what I mean? And those clips are actual movie clips of people saying that. That was a big thing in old school, predominantly or all white movies. Right. It was a way to show privilege. And who's more privileged than a person who's free, white, and 21? You know what I mean? They ain't got to listen to their parents. They ain't got to listen to nobody. They 21. You know what I mean? So that was the science behind that song. So it was like, yo, I'm free, white, and 21. I can do what I want. Y'all not going to tell me how to talk. Y'all not going to tell me how to move. Y'all not going to tell me what I could do and what I can't do. Yeah. And that's what it's going to be. Okay. Definitely got that point across in the joint, too. That's why I said in the beginning, I said, listen, nigga, I take advice. I don't take orders. Move to the beat of my own drum. But that's what I love. I love your ball work. Shout out to my man, KB, Kenny Buford. You know what I mean? Joining the room. What up, everybody? Peace to everybody. Exactly. I like to let everybody know I see them and I appreciate them coming through. You know what I'm saying? For sure. For me, another one of my standouts, man, that is like a gym joint for me is that Whoa, 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 man. Like, yeah, that. Really? I like that, man. Like beats, like I'm a hard beat dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I like beats that bang. It's like I can just zone out and just like, all right, word. You know what I'm saying? Got you. Like, so, like, what was the process going through, like, with that one when you were recording that one? You know what I mean? Well, that one was produced by B Grimes. And actually, Free White and 21 was produced by B Grimes, who's also one of my partners in One Dynasty Entertainment. Okay. But he when he sent the beat, it just had a particular bounce to it. You know what I mean? And I didn't really mean for the song to mean anything. You know what I mean? Like, to be honest with you, it was just like it had a bounce. And I'm like, yo, you know, when I hear a beat, if the first two or the first line comes to me, then I know I can rock with it. You know what I mean? It's like once that first line sparks, it's like, oh, okay, let me rock. I always tell producers, when I say send me that right now, send me it right now. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it if you waste time. So he was one of those guys. I'm like, yo, send it to me right now. I don't care what else you got to do to it later. I don't care, but send it to me right now. Oh, you know what I mean? So yeah, that was one of those. Just bounce joints. Like just like, you know. Didn't want to be too serious, but still serious.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it works, man, because every song you got, like I said, your pen game is so serious, bro. Like, like you take your no bars off, man. And the thing is, like, even your bars, like, your jabs, you know what I mean, your punchlines, they
Right.
all, it's like you stop.
Appreciate it.
Body blow, remember Ricky? Give it to him, man. It's like it's like, and that's what I love, because your writing process, you know what I'm saying, it doesn't sound like it's changed from the early music because you're consistent. But do you hear yourself as growth in your pen?
Right, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, the change that you might hear is I don't write anymore. And not that I go into the booth like these other dudes and try to freestyle it, but I compose the bars in my head.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like how Jay and Big did.
Yeah.
And what it did was it allowed me to eliminate an extra step. So it left brain power open to focus on the bars work as opposed to thinking, writing, and thinking again. Right. You know what I mean? It's an extra process. So everything is just happening right up in here. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know if you know about how they say you can only have a certain amount of decisions in a day. That's why you find like multi-billionaires and, they wear the same thing every day, because that eliminates one decision that they have to make. So it saves their brain power. Right. That's kind of the same concept. It's like, you eliminate that step so you could save the rest of that brain power to put everything into the work.
That's crazy right there. See, that's dope. I didn't even think of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, with this album, like you said, like you mentioned, One Dynasty Entertainment, your label, you know what I'm saying? How did you go about getting your own joint started? And how long have you had that out now?
It's been about 3 years now. Okay. Well, no, like 4 years, because 2021. Yeah, 4 years. I started in 2017. I had all this information in my head. I was rolling with guys who I was trying to share this information with, and nobody was really receptive or responsive to it. So it was like, you know what? I'm gonna just take all this shit and keep it for myself. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I don't know why they didn't listen. You know what I mean? Like, because at this point I'm kind of ahead of where they are. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, I'm big on trying to, just bring folks together so we can all work together and move forward as a force. But, everybody doesn't have that mindset. I don't know whether it be jealousy or insecurity or, a threat. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I can't call it, and I'm not here to psychoanalyze anybody. You know what I mean? But I just knew what I had to do for me.
And listen, that's the thing. Sometimes, when you want to go, if everybody's not there, it's not that you're leaving them behind. It's just that you're not going to leave yourself behind.
Right. Well, I mean, people do get left behind in the process. You know what I mean? Like, that's the reality of it. Like, let's not bullshit people. You know what I mean? Like,
keep it real.
We ain't gonna sugarcoat it. You know what I mean? Like, some people do get left behind. You know what I mean? Whether they feel it or not. But you like you said, the second part is that you can't leave yourself behind. You can't be stuck back there with them. You just got to keep moving forward, because that's the only thing that's constant is time, and it keeps moving forward, and it ain't stopping for nobody.
And listen, and that's exactly it, man. Now with the label now, like you got this joint here, The Last God out. Tell us some more things that we got coming up on the One Dynasty Entertainment, man.
Well, like I said, Jaya's I'm working on a project with Jaya. You know what I mean? She somehow wants me to produce the whole project. I don't know why. What?
A whole bad thing, you know. Like,
nah, that's my buddy there. Like, I actually have a lot of fun working with her. She's a very, very, very gifted artist. She's fun to work with. She takes direction well. Everything that a producer could ask for out of an artist, she is. Right. You know what I mean? Like, she handles things herself. Like, I don't have to chase behind her to. Usually she's the one calling me, hey, I'm ready to come to the studio. You know what I mean? Like, and usually in the past, I always had to chase people down to come to the studio. So it's kind of refreshing to not have to do that. Right. But, I'm working on some videos for the album. Okay. It's kind of crazy because the vision that I have for the video is kind of like what you see for the album cover.
Yes, yes.
So I don't know if you saw the other visuals that I made with the sister who I recreated. I made the live version of the album cover.
I didn't see that, man.
Okay.
Like,
So what I did was I found this tall, dark sister, right, who looks, and her face looks like the woman on the album cover.
Yeah, I'm looking at the cover now. Like,
right. So we dressed her up just like the album cover.
Oh.
So she has the white dress, the red belt, the blonde dreads.
Yeah.
We couldn't find blonde snakes, but you know, we had to make do.
Yo, good deal with them snakes in the head. She needs credit for that alone.
Right.
I need that, yo. I need to see that because that's something I'm honestly I gotta be posted because like I said, I love the album cover, man, and to have you enact that with live, it sounds dope. That's
So the album level. The videos for the album have to be in line. Like I want to do this whole 3D world kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it's taking me a while to find somebody to really execute because there's a lot of video effects and CGI that has to go into it. You know what I mean? And you know, when you're working with, you know, out of pocket budget, you know, you got to kind of find somebody who can work with your budget. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
So, you know, I did find somebody who's in another state, which is what I was trying to avoid, but because the guy who did the album cover is in Nairobi. So when we was going back and forth about the album cover, like the time difference was just crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
kill it, man. You know? Able to talk face to face, let alone you gotta make sure that you up the same time he's up. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. You know, but he came through. You know what I mean? So the guy that I'm talking to now is in Texas. So, and I don't want to shoot the videos unless it's like at least close to what I envision the videos to be. Right. You know what I mean? So that's been the delay on the videos. But, you know, there's millions of people out there who still haven't heard the music. So I could push this album just as long as it took me to create it.
Yeah, listen, absolutely, man. And when the music speaks for itself, like I always say, I don't care when the album drops, bro. If it's dope, that's music, it's timeless. Like, you put an album on that was recorded 10 years ago. If you never heard it, it's gonna bang. You know,
hell yeah.
It was dope. And this album is definitely one of those. Actually, all your joints rock like that for me because I like your wordplay. It's like
appreciate it.
A lot of my favorite MCs are out of Brooklyn, so it's like you definitely fit in.
I mean, we got the best MCs. Be like, what?
I'm from Mount Vernon, so I'm always give me my. Have Pete Rock, you know.
Okay.
YO, CL, Mount Vernon, you know, YO, Mount Vernon.
Yeah.
So, but I just love, like, I always say, like, Brooklyn, you know what I mean? Detroit gave me some of my favorite MCs, too.
Yeah.
But it's just always a sound that, and without sounding like each other, too. You know
right.
So, you know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, you know, like, I know you got the other projects lined up with, you just said the other artists and all of that, but now talk about the merch, man, because the merch is really dope and it's heavy right now. Let's talk about that.
So what happened was, me and one of the partners started a printing company.
Okay.
Right. So out of the printing company, it was just like, all right, I think now it's time to start my clothing line. But it had to be something that was in line with what I'm about.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I couldn't just put together like words on shirts and you know what I mean? Like I'm not that kind of person. You know what I mean? Like so the visuals just had to be on another level. You know what I mean? The imagery on the shirts and stuff had to be on another level. So, you know, birth God's Kingdom clothing.
Yes. And trust me, I see it, bro. I am gonna get my order in because I love like once again, I'm a visual dude and I love going on that, man. You know what I'm saying?
And the eyes that I get on these clothes is just crazy. You know what I mean? Even if you look at the hat right here.
Yeah. See,
you know, that's the Ghanaian symbol of supremacy of God. You know what I mean? So what better place to wear it up here?
But this is not just something like all of it has a meaning behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it has to.
Dopeness about you, bro. Like I said, you're not just the artist that I enjoy listening to because the music banging, but like I said, I've always been someone of substance, and you always got something to say with your music, bro. You know what I'm saying? And
Appreciate you listening, man. Like I like a lot of times I hope I'm not talking over people's heads, but if I am, so be it. You know, Rakim talked over our heads when we were younger.
oh
And
my
when we go
goodness.
back and listen to it, be like, oh shit, that's what he was saying. You know
But that's
what I
what
mean?
I said, that timeless music. We still go back to it, and I still follow the leader on. Still give
Right.
like any of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Shout out to Novel. Shout out to KC White, Chicago Soul. Everybody that joined us, man. So
what up, all y'all? What up?
word. So tell us about like what like right now. I know you got the videos you're gonna line up, but in the immediate future, like I know you're trying to get that all set up, but is there something else that they can expect that maybe drop in? Because with you, I'll go on IG and you drop a freestyle over one of your joints. Like you heavy promote. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I try.
That's dope. You know what I mean? Now, do you see yourself releasing maybe that deluxe with some of them joints that you ain't dropped yet soon?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It may not be like as a project. I was actually thinking about doing an NFT. You know what I mean? Something to that effect. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna release those joints at some point because, like I said, it's a few bangers in there that I'm like, yeah, people should hear these too. You know what I mean? I don't want to do it as a Last God Part 2 or anything like that. You know what I mean? Because the Last God is what it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like there's no need to add or take away from that. Just leave it as its own work.
Like, and shout out to HG Monsters. I appreciate you saying that. Great interview. But you know, and right back to you. Thank you for that because, you know, like I said, I'm asking for a deluxe album, but what I'm saying is I just want those songs that ain't been released.
Yeah.
But the way you lined up The Last God, it served its purpose, bro. You know what I'm saying? And first of all, if anyone in here hasn't heard the album The Last God by Hellz, with the exclamation point on the end, you need to hear that. You know, yo, bro, you just a mad cool dude because I know what it is to have the name and everything exact. You know what I'm saying? And I did it. You know what I mean? Shout out to my homegirl Moon, my artist. She fired up that promo.
Oh yeah, she definitely did a thing on that.
I always ask you, if I don't ask people on here about that art, that's my head. So you gotta tell on live, like, how did you feel about that artwork, bro?
No, yeah, I definitely loved it. Like me and my partner was sitting here, like I looked at it first, and I showed her, and she was like, "Oh shit, that's dope." You know what I mean? So yeah, it was like it was a surprise to me. It was, you know what I mean? Like, oh shit, she did all that? Okay, dope.
Yeah. Salute to Saigon for checking in, man. Big fan.
Saigon, what up?
Him coming through. You know what I mean? He's one of those probably in it for you, but he has
I think he here for you.
You know, word. You know, so before I let you go, like we got like, you know how IG is. They cheesy like that. They'll shut us down in an hour. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to end with us being half-assed like that. So before we go, like I didn't know if you had a few moments to talk about other projects you might have in the works, or you just want to make sure you let everybody know how to follow you and where to reach you at, bro.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, as far as there will be some features coming out that I've done for other people. You know, worked on a few features with some artists, so definitely look out for those. Follow me here. If you here, you already know who I am, what my IG is. You know what I mean? Definitely go to the website, OneDynastyENT.com. You know, that's where you'll find the clothing line as well. You know, you'll find the drum slingers there if you're looking for production and all that stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, here IG is usually the best place to get me. You know, I try to respond to everybody who reaches out. You know what I mean? I get a lot of producers who hit me. You know, appreciate all y'all who hit me, who want to send me beats, who want to hear me over their beats. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people was like, yo, you should charge for that. I'm like, nah, I feel funny about that. I'd rather just not do it. You know what I mean? Like, but
listen,
there are some features coming out.
Good. I'm glad you said it because I'm going to holler at you because I got some producer dudes I know you would sound fire over some joints. And what I like to do here, I just like to see the hip hop carried on. You know
right.
I like to see it carried on in the right way. So if I see you and whoever that's on here link up and bang out some joints, I'm like, that's hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, people, like I tell people, man, like for the Black American, we didn't have a culture. You know what I mean? Like Jamaicans got a culture, Trinidadians got a culture, everybody got a culture except for the Black American. And hip hop is our culture. So it's important for us to take care of it and to carry it on, like you said. And so the only way we could do that is if we connect with each other. You know what I mean? So I'm always down to connect with folks and, you know, make records. If fat folk, you know, I mix records too. You know, I mix and master records too. I be trying to help cats out with that, just so they could get the music out, because there's not enough of artists like myself and like the artists that we enjoy. We don't put out enough music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where the trap dudes, they putting out songs every day, every other day. You know what I mean? Like, we holding on to our stuff like, I don't want to put it out yet because it got to be perfect. They don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like,
they just releasing it.
They just putting it out. So that's why we get thrown to the back, because they putting all that into the front, because the volume that they're putting it out at. So it's like cats like myself, like yourself, like people who you know that are on the same wavelength. We all got to start flooding the game. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
That's the only way we're gonna make sure that this culture stays intact.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And real quick, shout out to Big D, Ultramatic MC. Let me tell you, it's things like that. Like when they come in and like we keep it intact, because we got to carry it on the right way. And you see, I don't know if you ever catching any videos of me and my son, like. You know, when we come from the barbershop, we always throw a video up on, you know what I mean, him listening to some old school. People love that, and I love passing it on. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know, and it's not to say that he doesn't listen to this new stuff as well, but I feel like we can't lose where it
Nah, we can't, man.
Our job's in that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Love it. He loves it. Everybody loves it. You know what I'm saying? He normally does the podcast with me. You know, school started, so he gets his last few minutes in now with whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, but I got to get my co-host back on here soon, you know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
But, yo, I want to thank you for your time tonight, bro.
No, thank you, man. Thank you.
This is so dope. I told you I was looking forward to this. And because, like I said, I've been a fan of yours. I keep it funky. I'm a fan. I've been a fan of yours for, you know, since we linked. I don't even know. It don't even matter. I'm just glad we did.
I just know you was a Sky Zoo fan. So I was like, this dude gotta like my music, man.
Yo, you know what's crazy, bro? I like that, man, because everywhere I go, like, that's usually how it is. Like, people, like, one of my men I met at one of the Sky shows, shout out to my brother Sky. I'm glad he's doing better, too, you know, but my man said he had me in his phone as Simon Sky, you know what I'm saying? Simon Sky Zoo, you know what I'm saying? But it's all good. That lets you know the type of music we on, like you said. That lets you know, all right.
Yeah, like if you don't like me, man, this is.
Yo, they don't like you, then they're the reason that hip hop is they can say that hip hop is dead if they don't like the type of music you put out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I can agree with that.
You know what I mean? You know, but listen, bro, anytime you doing something, man, we stay in contact on the regular anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
God, appreciate that quote.
Yes. Yo, thank you for everybody, man. Like this is
Thank you for tuning in.
I love how you reposted everything. You know what I mean? Gave that shout out, and plus them freestyles you be bodying, man. You know what I'm saying? I know it plays from the album, but it's just the whole thing that comes into it. You do a great job with that, and I appreciate it.
I knowing that, I'll keep it going.
Please do, because I you know what I mean? It's seen and it's doing its purpose, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that acknowledgement.
Everybody, this is my man Hellz, OD. Once again, The Last God is out. If you haven't heard it, man, do yourself a favor and pick it up.
It's 23 songs, B. You gotta like something.
And I'm gonna tell you something. It's 23 quality songs. There's a difference between 23 songs and 23 quality songs. You know what I'm saying? Like each song, like I said, serves its purpose, is there for a reason. I haven't heard a skippable track. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Like you use the samples and all that. Like I know they did. I know what the album did, man. So thank you for this album, bro. You know
thank you. Appreciate you.
And we're gonna chop it up soon. Next time when you got some time in your hands, holler at me, bro. My platform's your platform, man.
Appreciate that. I got you.
And one more thing before I let you go, this is off left. I meant to ask you earlier because with the work with Keith Turner, and I know you know Jamil Honesty. I had him on here before too.
Okay.
Anything that you guys have thought about working on together at all? Because he became.
I don't think I've ever engaged with Jamil Honesty, but if you want to put that together, let's do it.
Let me tell you.
That's actually my real name. My real name is Jamil.
Oh, see, so that's fine.
Yeah.
See, y'all heard it on the record. Listen, I'm gonna put that in the air because his whole camp, Ace Cannon, shout out to his camp from B-More. I became fans of them too. So I can hear all y'all, especially with Keith Turner, I can hear the whole mixture because she's on his albums too. You know what I'm saying? So
dope.
she'll be up here too pretty soon. I ain't
Oh
want to
yeah,
leave that
gotta
out,
have
but
her.
absolutely.
Yes,
But
for sure.
again, Hellz yeah. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you, B. You know what I'm saying? And we'll be doing this up
Appreciate you.
soon again, all right?
All right, shout out to everybody in the room. If you followed me, I'm gonna follow you right back. I'm not one of those guys. I don't care. Like, I don't care about numbers and all that shit.